Hi, good afternoon. This is Takashi Sato, President of the Sanjay. Thank you for the kind of introduction, and thank you for the great opportunity of this event. And yes, I'm going to talk about fermentation today. But before entering my topic, I'd like to introduce myself or my company. Who is Sanjay? We are the soy sauce manufacturer, originally founded in Japan, 1804 in the Mie Prefecture. And we came to the United States in 1978, and we built a factory in the state of Virginia, almost 2 hours drive from the Washington, D.C. And so we produce all the product we sell in the United States in this facility in Virginia. So we are kind of technically the domestic company, I think. And let me share about the status in the business side. We sell a product to the retail market mainly, and in this country there are two categories under the retail market. One is the conventional, which include these kind of players like Walmart, the Safeway, I think you're familiar with. And in this category, we're not the big player, like the share of the 5 or 6% market share, so which is not big. On the other hand, under the retail market, there is another category named the premium market or the natural market. The main player of that market is like Whole Foods, Plus, or you might be the big fan of the Rainbow Grocery here. In this market, our market share is 34 or 35%, so we're like number one in this market. So we're focusing on the kind of upscale the market. And this is the product we sell. Anybody who have ever purchased this product? Oh, thank you, you're my customers. It's always happy to see that. So this is a product we sell. This is a product we produce in the Virginia and sell to the market. And combine those two, we are distributing to over 18,000 grocery stores nationwide. Yes, that is who we are. And back to the topic. Exploring Japanese Hakko tradition and innovation. This is the topic, this is the subject given to me from the organizer. And I wanted to focus on the innovation part in my session. But before that, I think I need to share my thought about the connection between the tradition and innovation first. In my, this is what I think. Koji fermentation is a key of the traditional food, including soy sauce or miso or sake, or even shochu. And, oh yeah, do you know what a koji is, everybody? The koji is the name of the mold. So in Japan, this is in Japan, we utilize the koji as one of the key elements of the fermentation. And yes, koji fermentation is the key of the traditional food. However, in my opinion, koji fermentation itself is just a method. It's just a method. It doesn't have to be tied with Japanese or traditional. So, therefore, with your creativity, we might be able to discover the innovative possibilities. That's what I'm talking about from now. And especially outside of Japan, some people or some chefs who have intense curiosity, they try to discover kind of innovative possibility. And I like to explain how they came up with those innovative possibility in the culinary world. Yes, ingredient. You must have a lot of ingredient in the refrigerator. And you like to make some dishes by using the ingredient. But all of us know that the ingredient cannot become their dish by themselves. You need to cook them. You need to cook ingredient in order to make a dish. And then, when I say cooking, that consists of major 2 stages. For example, oh, by the way, we are distributing the cup of some seasoning. Don't open it, okay? So don't taste it. Mr. Aoki is trying to open it. I saw it. So sorry. Wait, okay?
Cannot wait.
So what is the major two stages that, that is a part of the cooking? First one is a processing. I'm not sure that this is a good English term or not, but it including the boil or simmer or stir fry, grill, or many others. Yes, I think even more. And after processing, I think you're gonna season them, including the pepper, salt, vinegar, or butter, or many others. And no, it's not that simple in the real world. You might want to season the ingredient before the processing, or you might want to do the both at the same time. But I think you agree that there must be major two stages in the cooking process. In a long time, for a long time, the soy sauce industry has been introducing soy sauce as one of the seasoning options, like here. So, for example, when you make the steak by using the meat as an ingredient, you might want to enjoy the steak with a mustard or barbecue sauce. But we have been proposing the soy sauce as an alternative of your mustard or barbecue sauce. And for decades, thanks to the pioneer like Kikkomans, they have been proposing this kind of activity for many years in this country. And as a result, I think that the soy sauce has become one of the popular seasoning in this country too. Yes, that is what we're doing. But some people or some chef who has an intense curiosity about the seasoning, they like the flavor of soy sauce. And they found out, or they assumed that uniqueness of the soy sauce flavor might be coming from the uniqueness of its production method, which is fermentation. So they wondered it might be interesting to use the Koji fermentation itself as one of the processing options, like here. That is what's happening in the culinary world, I think, especially outside of Japan. And I like to introduce the what kind of areas they are trying to apply the Koji fermentation method as a processing options. New flavor. Yes, everybody wanted to create or discover the new flavor in order to differentiate your dish from the others. And in that case, we often try to look for the new ingredient in order to create new flavor. However, with the fermentation technique, you might be able to create new flavor even with existing ingredient. That's what is happening. And the existing ingredient example is, yes, mushroom. Mushroom is very typical ingredient, and you can get the mushroom anywhere in the world. And you must have a lot of the cooking method to cook the mushroom. However, some people wonder that how it's going to taste like if you ferment it. The people of for example, Norma. Do you know Norma? Yeah, they're the restaurant in Denmark, and they have the 3 Michelin stars, so they're kind of one of the top restaurants in the world. And they wonder, they try to ferment the mushroom, and out of the many output, they really like the taste of the mushroom, the fermented mushroom seasoning. So they decided to introduce as a mushroom shoyu, like here, under the name of Noma. And this is actually the collaboration with our company and Noma. So this is me actually, and the guy on the left side is Thomas, the executive chef of the Noma. Or corn. Everybody like corn. So that you must have a lot of the cooking method to enjoy the corn. But some people wonder that how it's going to taste like if you ferment corn. And people like 11 Mudstone Park. There's a restaurant in New York. They also have their 3 Michelin stars, and they ranked #1 at 150 best in 2017. So they are also one of the #1 players in this industry. Yes, so they fermented corn, and they really like the flavor, so they introduced the product as a corn shoyu, like here. And this is also the collaboration with our company, so they put their logo in the back of the label. And then, now, tasting. Now you have the cup, the liquid in the cup. That is the corn shoyu we created with 11 Mudstone Park. Please try it. Oh, you don't have it? Anybody who doesn't have it? Oh, kind of many? Okay. Do you have the extra?
Yeah, it's sweet a little bit. Yeah, finally. I enjoy.
I'm sorry for those who have not received the corn shoyu, but they are preparing. Oh, they are preparing the corn shoyu so that you can taste it later.
Aroma
Sweet aroma.
compared to normal. So
I think you know that
difficult.
the flavor is definitely different from the typical soy sauce. I think you agree that.
It's very difficult.
And at the same time, you can agree, I hope you agree that you can tell it's from corn, right? You can tell the corn flavor.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think that that corn flavor you experience is a little different from the corn flavor you always cook. It's different from the corn soup or grilled corn or any other corn flavor. It's a little different. That is what I am talking about. By using the fermentation technique, you might be able to create new flavor even with the existing ingredient you're familiar with. So I think that it's gonna expand or it's gonna widen the option you create the new flavor or new dishes. That is the one area fermentation might be able to contribute. Or any the other areas, new presentation, it's a little difficult to tell from that title. And the player who are playing with Koji to discover the new presentation is Mugaritz. They are also the famous restaurant in Spain. They are located in Basque. And it's really difficult to tell verbally, so I like to show the picture of the dish they serve. Yeah? Do you know what it is? It's an apple, actually. And it's covered by spore of the koji. Koji is one kind of the mold, so they generate spore when it's glow. And usually it's avoided. But they think that puffy appearance, they like it, so they served that one as it is with a puffy appearance or different pictures. It's before and after. I don't know what it is, but it must be one kind of fish shelf? Shellfish. Shellfish, yes. And yes, they are very famous players. There are many magazine or article covers their project, and most of the article put the picture of the dish with the molded one. Or even the Harvard University, they talk about their approaches to the dishes with using the koji fermentation. Yes, so that is very unique, but they're one of the areas to create the new presentation by using the koji. Or other areas, it is food waste. Food waste is not only in this industry, but it has become the big issue. And how we can approach to these issues? Bread, yes. Many of the Western food cuisine restaurants, they serve the bread, and I think you can imagine that most of the bread will be disposed every day, so that it's a big issue in the industry. And some players wanted to improve the situation by using the Koji fermentation. The oyster, they are the lesson in the Washington D.C. with one Mission Stores. And if you look at their website, the page named Zero Waste, and I found the sentence like here. They are saying that leftover bread is turned into nutty, umami-rich miso. Yeah, interesting. So I came and checked it because I live in the Washington D.C. too. And he's the guy on the left side is Rob, the owner of the restaurant. I asked him about the leftover miso, and yes, they show it to me. The beet bread miso. So they are using leftover miso, and they created miso by using that, and they serve that miso as a seasoning of their dishes they serve to the customers. Or different example, there's a sake brewery in Brooklyn that named the Brooklyn Cooler. They founded and owned by the two American guys. His name is Brian, and he's serving his sake to one of the sushi restaurant, for example, the Sushi Show. Do you know the Sushi Show? Have you ever heard of it? And the Sushi Show is a restaurant in New York. And I think you know that the 2025 mission was already was issued yesterday, and they got the 3 Michelin stars. Yeah, and actually I counted how many other sushi restaurants in the world who has the 3 Michelin stars. There are only 2 in the world. One is in one restaurant in Tokyo, and the other is this Sushi Show. So this is also one of the top tier sushi restaurants in the world. And yes, they are using the Brooklyn Cooler. And you might know that when you make sake, they're gonna produce their sake as a byproduct. And here we have some winemakers. Yes, the wine producing. Yes, they produce the wine wine D. Yeah, as a byproduct. But most cases they're gonna be disposed. So I came and bought some sake from the Brooklyn Cooler, and we created the sake tamari by using that sake. And the Sushi Show, they used our sake as a seasoning at the counter. So what is happening is that the guests at the counter, the Sushi Show counter, they enjoy sushi seasoned with a sake tamari, and the ingredient of which is coming from the sake they are drinking with at the same counter. So it's a kind of unique mariage, I think. So that could be happened by using the Koji fermentation technique. So these are the 3 examples. These are the 3 examples of the areas Koji fermentation might be able to contribute. So if we put the Koji fermentation function and the culinary application into one view, yes, Koji produce enzyme. That is one of the uniqueness of the Koji. Yeah. And enzyme, Koji produce many kind of the enzyme, so that technically they can break down anything. And for example, they can decompose protein, and as a result, it will create amino acid that is the source of the umami, so that we utilize that amino acid as a flavor of the soy sauce or miso. Or since they are able to decompose the protein, it can be used as a meat tenderizer, yeah. Or they can decompose carbohydrate so that we can get the sugar out of it, and that sugar itself can be used as a amazake or mirin as a seasoning. Or if you ferment further with the yeast, it can be alcohol like sake or shochu. Or they can decompose the many things so that it's possible that they can decompose food vegetables, so that it can be utilized as a a tool of upcycle, just like I introduced like a bread miso or sakeri tamari. So depending on your creativity or up to your imagination, it can be used in many areas, not only for soy sauce or miso as a traditional seasoning, but also you can create or you can utilize the koji in many areas. So actually, I or the Mr. Aoki, yes, we have been doing this business for 100 years. So we can be, how to say, we tend to be tied with the traditional or old way to utilize the koji. But I always be impressed by my American friend who has great creativity. That's what we are not good at. So if you come up with any idea, hey Takashi, why don't you utilize the koji in this area, or why don't you apply the koji fermentation in that purposes? Please let me know. Yeah. My business is sell the tamari sauce, the retail market, but I always wanted to challenge and do something new to contribute the American diet. So yeah, so this is the QR code on my Instagram. So if you have any idea, please let me know. Let's do something together. Yeah, thank you.
Hello guys, how are you? Thank you. First of all, thank you for giving me such a great opportunity. Japanese Society and also all Consulate General of Japan. I'm very impressed by Sato-san's presentation. His presentation is always insightful. Especially he described koji fermentation as one of the cooking method. That was very interesting view. But I need to complain one thing. You forgot to put miso in one of the ingredients. Please put miso as one of the ingredient seasoning next time.
Yeah, I will do that.
Let me introduce myself. I'm fifth generation of Marukome. For those of you who don't know about Marukome, Marukome is the largest miso company in Japan. We are founded in 1854, originally from Nagano Prefecture, where we had a Winter Olympic in 1998. And my great-great-great-granddad started my business. And I'm also a certified Japanese national miso craftsman. This is a national certification such as medical doctor or lawyer, because we have this kind of system because miso industry is very important industry in Japan, and government support to maintain the quality standard. And here I'm going to talk about magic of koji, and I use the word magic because koji, it can transform a simple ingredient into something tasty and also healthier. So it's just like a magic. So I want to discover the bit of the secret of magic today together. Here's the miso. There are so many kinds of miso in Japan and also in US now. And some are red, some are white. And we can change the quality of miso or by using our fermentation technique. So I'll introduce some of the technique today. And before going into detail, I need to explain the basic information about miso making. You might know, but we use the miso to make miso. We use rice, soybean, salt. Koji mold, most important ingredient of making good quality of miso. And this is how the general information about how we can make miso. We steam rice and we put koji mold on it, and we cultivate for a certain time with certain temperature, and we can get rice koji. And we mix with steamed soybean, yeast, and salt, and go through aging process. That's how we make miso. This is actually how we make rice miso. In Japan, there are so many other kind of miso, but more than 90% of miso is rice miso. So we only focus on rice miso today. And before going into the miso, I need to take a moment to explain about Koji. Sato-san already explained a little bit, a lot, but I also want to mention here you can see the picture, rice plant, and you can see black black cluster under the rice plant. This is actually the very origin of Koji, and it appeared naturally in Japan, just like a gift from nature of Japan. And ancient day, Japanese people noticed that this mold has a lot of beneficial function. So we have selected and refined the Koji strain for more than 1,000 years, and we now have very good quality Koji. And after steaming rice, as I mentioned, we put Koji mold on it, and we cultivate, and you can get this type of rice. And you may notice this rice is very white compared to normal rice. This white thing is actually Koji. And this Koji has so many beneficial enzymes in it. And by using those functional enzymes, we have Japanese people has making miso, soy sauce, and sake. Those are important condiments. And this here, I would like to explain how those enzymes work in scientific way. As Sato-san mentioned, there are so many beneficial enzymes. One of the enzymes is called amylase. It has function to break down starch into glucose, and which is a source of sweetness. And actually, amylase cut the chain of starch, and it makes glucose like this illustration. And that's the reason why miso has sweet taste. And actually, ultimate application of this enzyme is Koji syrup. We make like something like a sweetener only made from rice by using amylase. And another important enzyme in Koji is called protease. Protease has function to break down protein into amino acid, which is source of umami, a very important enzyme to also make soy sauce. This illustration shows how it works, and ultimate application of this enzyme is our Koji powder. You can use Koji powder as a tenderizer. If you marinate our Koji powder for a night, you can get something like aging beef, which takes usually 4 months. And lastly, I'd like to explain how we use yeast, because UC Davis will explain about yeast. And we are not really good at this, but I want to mention yeast is very important ingredient to make good aroma of miso. So as I mentioned, we use function of Koji and also yeast. And we tailor our Koji and yeast usage to each miso. If we want to make something sweet miso, we use a Koji which has more amylase. And if we want to have a strong aroma of miso, we use special kind of yeast. So this is how we make different taste of miso. And today, I would like you to experience the taste. And today we have 4 kinds of miso. Can you try the first one? Sweet melon. Basically, we use all same ingredients to make this miso, except last one. And how I want you to explain how taste different. Is it? Can you give me sweet? Any comment? Sweet? Very sweet, right? This is because we use a special koji which has more amylase. So, the amylase work and create a lot of glucose. And please try second one. Pure umami. Can you give me any feedback? Not sweet? Salty. You feel more salty. Actually, for this miso, we use the koji, which has more proteins. And third one, can you try? Not sweet?
It's like a combination of 1 and 2.
Yes. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah, it's like a mix. The taste should be mix of first one and second one. It's more balanced. It has more umami and sweetness. You can enjoy together. So you can use more any kind of dish. It has more versatility. And can you try last one? This is kind of like a new experiment. This is not very traditional miso, or you cannot find in Japan. We make this especially for the people who have soy allergy.
Can I ask you what
Sure.
you use instead of soy?
We use chickpea instead of soy. Yeah. So it has more like, I think you felt crunchy texture, right? It comes from chickpea. Yeah, actually here we put each taste profile in the literature and how those miso taste different. And for the first one, it has more sweetness, and second one has more umami, and third one, last one, is more balanced. And this is our proposal, how this miso can be used for the dishes. And the first one for the sweet mellow, because it has sweet taste. You can use as a sweet alternative. Nowadays people want to avoid sugar, white sugar, but people love sweet taste. So this can be the healthy alternative by using fermentation. And on the other hand, the pure umami, it can be used as umami seasoning. People love the taste of MSG, but people at the same time people want to avoid. So, this miso can be alternative of MSG, and we we recommend this use this miso for the barbecue sauce or ramen. And for the other 2 kinds of miso, umami sweet and also soy-free miso, because the taste is more balanced, you can use for any kind of dishes. So this is just one example of recipe. So I want you to explore the possibility of using miso, the sweetness and umami. So as Sato-san mentioned, I want you to find something new recipe by using our miso. And for the last thing I want to mention, today we have a gift bag, and we put a premium white miso, which is very similar to sweet mellow miso. So please explore with this miso. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. Hello. I'm Hitoshi Hokamura, and with Sato-san and Aoki-san, we're going to do a brief discussion today. And at the end, we're going to have a quick Q&A. So, and after that, we have tons of time to talk about fermentation later. So I'm here in the Valley, the Bay Area, for 25 years plus. And I used to be a high-tech guy, and still I try to be still. But I also have been a very good eater for a long time. And then what happened about 10 years ago is I saw a lot of my entrepreneurs, my friends, entrepreneurs and investors started to move into the food. And then that's something we call now food tech. That actually happened in the valley, and I was lucky enough to witness nearby. So I wanted to introduce the movement, which happens really quick in this area, but kind of slow in Japan, and too much to preserve, and not necessarily quick in doing a new thing. So about 8 years ago, I brought Smart Kitchen Summit to Japan. Also 5 years ago, I published Food Tech Revolution, the first book in Japanese, talking about what's going on around food with technology. And then in the past few years, I'm focusing more on the fermentation. I'm really happy to have these two guys. This is the very first fermentation related conference in San Francisco. So you guys talked most of the key things already, but so let's start. So you, Aoki-san, you in terms of new innovation, new application for miso, in today's presentation, you had a new flavor of the traditional miso and the new trial of miso without using traditional ingredients, so chickpea miso. But likewise, what other new application experimental do you do especially for the culinary professionals?
As I mentioned, the Koji has so many beneficial enzymes,
Right.
and what we do by using Koji is we basically decompose the protein or starch. So by using those functions, traditionally we use this function to break down starch in rice into glucose and also soybean. Chickpea also has starch, and also has protein. So we have made some experiment, and I want to explore more possibility of using those functions. And we, for example, potato has so much starch in it, so it could be another option, and we want to explore more.
Yeah, I think most of you use miso as a kind of boxed, semi-hard material, but you introduced the liquid miso in a squeezable bottle a few years ago, and now you also have the powdered miso, right? So are they easier for chefs to use?
Yeah, thank you for introducing my product.
You forgot about it, so remind me.
Yeah, we have a product called Miso and Easy. It's available in the supermarket and from our website. This is liquid type of miso. When we introduced miso in the U.S. market, it was very hard in the very beginning because, usually, American people know about miso from Japanese restaurant, and it's a soup. So they don't expect miso as a paste form. But actually, miso is traditional paste. So even though they want to make their own miso soup at home, they don't have any idea how to make out of paste. So in order to solve this challenge, we make a liquid type of miso. It's very easy to cook. It's like a concentrate of soup. So you just add hot water and you get the miso soup right away. And another thing is we make freeze-dry miso in Japan. It's very easy and because it's dry, the shelf life is very long.
You just sprinkle on salad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you.
Yeah. And then as a traditional, the largest miso manufacturer, Marukome, is trying those. And we also have local friends, Chef Culture over there. They are brewing miso in San Francisco City, and they have like pumpkin miso or chickpea miso, corn miso, very large kind of unknown miso from Japanese point of view, very innovative. So you can also try over there. So Sato-san's back to your story. You introduced some of the application for the culinary professional, such as margarines. The first one, apple one. And it's hard to tell whether it's a Koji processed apple or just rotten apple. But don't just mimic it because it's sometimes dangerous. But yeah, from the professional, for the chef, do you have any suggestions on how you chef should be careful about using a Koji fermentation in their dish?
Yeah, thank you for pointing out it. And just like they mentioned in during my presentation, I'm really impressed by the creativity or imagination of the top chef, like Margaret's normal people, and the Aoki-san or yes, we are proud of our product ourselves. At the same time, we tend to be the conservative. So from the project with those top chefs, I think that I realize that there's a lot of areas I can learn from them. But at the same time, I also wanted to point out that as you know, that the fermentation is is one form of the spoilage. So it's actually spoiling. So they spoiled. So that is one area we had to be very careful. So the good condition for koji or yeast to grow, that might be also good condition for bacteria to grow. So managing the best condition is very essential. That is one area, and the other area is that you might have experience to make a bread, and that area, that the industry, it is typical to use the wild yeast. Yeah, but I always say that you cannot try to use the wild koji. It's super dangerous. It's super dangerous because under the same asparagus, there are some type of the koji produce toxic, super heavy toxic. So you're gonna die. So and it's super difficult to tell from the appearance if that contains a toxic or not. So that that is also, I always emphasize that if you want to try something new by using koji, you have to purchase it from the koji producers. So yeah, that might be the areas that I have in mind.
I mean, trial and error is always something a chef would do, but in terms of fermentation, you have to be very scientific, I think. And as he said, the koji seed producer, which is usually called moyashi, they are actually the oldest in the world, the biotechnology company. So their powdered koji is proven not to make mycotoxin. So as long as you start from there, it's safe. But if you apply something you found in the kitchen. It looks similar, but it's very different. So just be careful. So that's your point.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Do you have any other suggestions and comments for the chef who wants to use, fermentation or fermentation products more in dishes to be differentiated?
I think nowadays, especially top chef or culinary professionals are looking for healthy alternative. People want to enjoy the food, but also the people want to have a natural, healthy alternative. It's not easy. It's a big challenge for chefs, and they are looking for something healthy alternative. And I think our fermentation could be the one solution for them. For example, by using functional amylase, you can have a natural sweetness out of simple ingredient. Also, you can have umami by using functional proteins. So I believe that the fermentation can be a good option for those people who are looking for healthy alternatives.
Great. Yeah, on East Coast, actually, the chefs or the culinary school does a lot of classes or study group for New West fermentation. But it looks like around here in LA area, it's very seldom. And as I said, this is the very first fermentation conference in the San Francisco city. So I hope we can provide most advanced and scientific fermentation technique classes to the local people. And today we have a lecturer from Stanford and UC Davis, and with their help, we want to help hold this kind of opportunity for the local chefs and culinary professionals with help of Japan Society and the Consul General. I hope. And one more thing is for those who wants to learn more, we've been doing the fermentation tour in Japan, very deep tour in Japan, because even if a chef goes to Japan a lot, but they try to see the Wagyu or the restaurants and so on. But it's very difficult to visit the local fermentation site. You don't know where they are, and they don't speak English, and so on. So 4 years ago, we started to do a tour for culinary professionals on volunteer basis on our side, and then until now, we did 5 times, but nobody from West Coast joined. So let's see a little video.
Continuation of these traditions over generations. In Europe, in America, North America, Canada, everything is so new. It's cool to be a startup. It's cool to be an entrepreneur. It's cool to start from nothing and think that you can build an empire overnight. And it's very refreshing to see traditions and traditional values and traditional ways crafting with the world and trusting microbes to guide you, upheld over 6, 8, 10 generations like we've seen today.
By the way, this gentleman is you might already know that he's Mr. David Silver. He's the ex fermentation director of Norma, and he also published the bestseller, the Guide to Fermentation. And he's also the good friend of the Professor Sonnenberg here at Stanford. And Professor Sonnenberg also held the fermentation conference 2 months ago, which was really, really great. So that is another comment about the movie.
Yeah, this was a tour 2 years ago, but my point is we're going to have it next year. So if you want to join, actually the friends at the Shell Culture joined 3 years ago. Right. Yeah. So they learned the real fermentation from Japan, and then they refine their products, which is really something we hope. And so follow his Instagram. Yeah, if I'm blocking.
Here.
Yeah.
Here.
If you he's only Japanese who talk about fermentation scientifically in English and push it out on Instagram. So follow him, and when we decide the dates and timing, he will announce from here. So I hope some of you can join the next time, and then you can be more spread around the real Japanese fermentation to the rest of the chef around here. So I think it's time is up. So thank you very much, Sato-san and Aoki-san.
Thank you.
Going in the back, you can see the demonstration of how to make a shokoji.
Yeah, we set up the DIY shokoji station somewhere in this room.
Yeah,
and
after this, you can go
after
to
this.
you can try.
And let me introduce how to make it and how to use it briefly. It's gonna take only a couple minutes. And DIY shokoji. Shio means salt, and koji is koji. You they learn it. And what is shiokoji? The shiokoji is a name from the two ingredient, rice koji and salt. And very simple. And it is primarily used as a marinade. And since the enzyme derived from koji are still active, they can tenderize the ingredient you marinate. Okay. And this is the closed dick of the koji. You can see that little spore is growing on the surface of the rice. Yep. And you illustrated that this is the shape of the koji, and how it works. Yes, that the protein is the chain of amino acid, and the enzyme from the koji is going to cut the chain. So that is why it's going to tenderize the meat or fish. That's how it works. And how to make it? Hold the jar. Yeah. The first, yes, this is the 8-ounce jar. You can get it later. And the first step is add salt. Add salt. You might think that it is too much salt, but if you cut the salt, don't do that because it's gonna be spoiled. Yeah, and next you have to add rice koji. The ingredient of the rice is the same rice you're gonna eat, but we glow the koji on the surface of the rice. So later, please take a look closely, and you might be able to eat some koji itself. It's not gonna hurt your stomach. You can taste little sweetness from the koji because it started breaking down the rice into the sugar. And add water to the shoulder of the jar. Yeah. Until the shoulder of the jar. Yeah.
Is it okay?
When I say shoulder, it's a different jar. Okay. And shut the lid on.
Good job.
It's important because after that we're gonna shake it. So that you can shake a little. Yeah. If you do not shake it, the salt stay at the bottom, so the top part will be spoiled again. Yeah. And take it to your home and leave it at the room temperature. Do not put it in the refrigerator because it's gonna take time to be fermented if you put it in the refrigerator. And mix them once a day, just shake it once a day, and leave it for 7 to 10 days, depending on the temperature of your house. Yeah. And after that, it's before and after. It's a little difficult to tell the difference, but it's gonna be brownish after 10 days. Yeah. And how to use it? Marinate your ingredient for overnight. Yeah. And the quantity is about 10% of the ingredient. So if you want to marinate 10 ounce of the meat, you're gonna use 1 ounce of the shiokoshi. That's the average ratio. And after marinated, wipe them from the surface. You do not have to do that, but if you grill it later, it will be burned because it is actually sugar. It contains a lot of sugar. And grill it. This is a fish, and you marinate on the surface. You put shiokoshi on the surface of the fish, and you leave it overnight, grill it, and tasty. Yeah. So there is a Koji station somewhere, maybe over there. So yes, please try it and take it to your home, and please let me know how it works later. Yeah. Easy. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Building bridges between the United States and Japan since 1905. Japan Society.